In the high-stakes game of politics, silence can speak volumes. Few understood this better than President Abraham Lincoln. As we explore Lincoln's strategic use of silence in negotiations, we reflect on his remarkable legacy. We also uncover timeless wisdom applicable to our own lives. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, navigated the tumultuous waters of the American Civil War. With the nation divided and the stakes at an all-time high, Lincoln often found himself in negotiations. His mastery of strategic silence becomes a lesson in the art of negotiation. When discussing Lincoln's strategic approach, we should consider the momentous events leading up to and during the Civil War. The stakes were not merely political. They encompassed the very foundation of a nation. Lincoln faced the challenge of uniting a fractured country while upholding the values of freedom and equality. Within this context, silence became a critical tool as powerful as any spoken word. One of Lincoln's most notable examples of strategic silence occurred during a peace conference with Confederate representatives. In this critical meeting, the underlying tension was palpable. While many would assume that words would hold the weight, Lincoln understood the power of measured pauses. By allowing silence to fill the room, he encouraged his opponents to reveal their positions more fully. In turn, he exposed their vulnerabilities. The principle here is clear: silence can serve as a weapon of discovery. In situations where people might rush to speak to fill the void, silence allows us to listen intently. It compels others to articulate their thoughts more comprehensively. This profound understanding of human psychology is a lesson we can apply to our daily interactions. Lincoln's approach was not merely about who could speak the loudest, but rather about discerning the right moments to refrain from speaking. When he did choose to interject, his words were precisely crafted, packed with meaning and intent. This principle resonates deeply in both professional settings and personal ones. Sometimes, the greatest influence lies not in what we say, but in the moments we choose to hold back. Another pivotal example of Lincoln's strategic silence occurred during his response to the staunch opinions of those around him. In a time where emotions ran high and opinions clashed, Lincoln often remained deliberately quiet. He listened, gauged reactions, and weighed the implications of the words spoken around him. By embracing silence instead of rushing into confrontation, he cultivated a space for thoughtful discourse. This leads us to a crucial lesson: the power of contemplation before action. In our fast-paced world, we often find ourselves pressured to respond instantly. The lesson from Lincoln urges us to resist this impulse. We should take time to consider our words thoughtfully, ensuring that when we do engage, our responses are informed and deliberate. However, Lincoln's use of silence was not merely reactive. It was also strategic in revealing the true intent behind the words of others. In his correspondence, Lincoln employed calculated pauses, crafting phrases that compelled his opponents to reconsider their positions. This definitive approach illustrates a critical principle: silence can be a defensive mechanism that forces others to reveal their cards. This principle goes beyond negotiation. It captures a universal truth about human interaction. The ability to create space in conversations allows us to gather insights that would otherwise remain hidden. In both personal and professional contexts, we are often faced with situations where others may be less than forthcoming. By embracing silence strategically, we can pull back layers, gaining clarity through others' expressions and hesitations. As we examine the cumulative impact of Lincoln's strategic silence, we observe that it embodies patience and resilience. Silence is not a sign of weakness. It requires strength, discipline, and a deep understanding of human nature. Lincoln's actions teach us that the resolution. The climax of Lincoln's engagement revealed itself in the moment he finally chose to speak after a period of silence. With a voice steadied by contemplation, Lincoln delivered words that resonated with purpose and urgency. His carefully timed interjection turned the tide, catalyzing progress in a seemingly insurmountable situation. This powerful moment reminds us that when we respect the balance of silence and speech, we cultivate a space where pivotal breakthroughs can occur. Reflecting on Lincoln's legacy, we must ask ourselves how we harness the power of silence in our interactions. In a world often characterized by noise and haste, embracing moments of quiet can provide profound insights. By practicing the art of strategic silence, we position ourselves not just as participants, but as strategic players in the game of life. Lincoln's example serves as a reminder that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes, silence speaks. And it is within that silence, in the pauses between words, that we often find clarity and strength. The next time you find yourself in a challenging conversation, pause. Let the silence breathe. In that space, opportunities may unfold, and powerful revelations may emerge.